Okay. So, welcome, goddesses, to the last Wednesday wisdom of July 2026. And I'm really happy to be with you tonight, especially because tonight is the night of the full moon. And we can work with that energy just a little bit to really help us release anything that we've been holding on to that's been stuck with us and just let it go, as they say. So, one of the things that we're really talking about this month has been our series of the four ancient Egyptian goddesses. And the last one that we talked about was Sekhmet, the fiery warrior goddess of ancient Egypt. And so um, we really want to focus on how are we radiating our true selves these days. So, good evening, beautiful goddesses, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. I am Dee Savoy, your goddess whisperer, and it's my joy to spend this time with you talking about all things goddess and all things that we need to really move our lives forward in the way that we wish to. And um, tonight's invitation is really simple because we're coming from a place of illumination, and that is to stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Okay. There's a difference between turning down the wattage to please yourself or to feel comfortable yourself in a given situation and doing so to please other people who are uncomfortable with your brilliance, with your brilliance. Okay. And the world has enough women in hiding, either by their own doing or because they are forced into hiding by their culture, by their circumstance, by their family, um, or just to feel comfortable in the world, to feel safe in the world. Okay. We need more and more women remembering who they are. So let's take a moment just to open our circle a little bit. And where did she go? I'll have the incense right here to share with you. So I'm just gonna, where did she go? She did not fold it. I don't know where she went to. But instead, we will share just a little tiny bit. All right, now, Flame, don't you dim yourself. We're going to share just a little bit of the tail end of this dragon's blood. Oh, no, we don't want to light today. Okay, here we go. Maybe do it this way will work. And let's just clear our energies and clear our energy, clear our thoughts, clear our womb as we go about sharing this energy with you. Okay, so let's get started. You can just listen or you can repeat to yourself if you want to with closed eyes, with the left hand on the heart, the right hand on the womb. Divine Mother, remove every fear that keeps me hidden. Help me remember that my light is medicine. My gifts are sacred. My presence matters. I no longer apologize for becoming who you created me to be. And so it is. So while you have your eyes closed, just imagine yourself standing at dawn. The sky is quiet. The horizon begins to glow. The sun never asks permission from anyone to rise. It does not apologize for being brilliant. It simply fulfills its purpose. As you watch, you realize that you, just like the sun, are a warm golden light that begins inside your womb. It rises into your heart, into your throat, into your third eye, until finally it crowns your head. It moves lower into your hips and legs and thighs and feet and ankles and your arms as well, so that every part of you is now a part of this bowl of warm golden light. And with every breath, your light grows brighter. And no one is harmed by your radiance. Instead, your light gives others permission to remember their own. Remain in that light. Bask in this light. Find yourself in this light. And whenever you're ready, gently, gently return. Mhm. So let's talk for just a minute. And I think we've talked about this before, but I think every time that we revisit it, we open ourselves more to this idea. And that is that many and many of us have learned very early that visibility came with consequences. If we succeeded, someone called us arrogant. If we spoke, someone called us difficult. If we dreamed, someone called us unrealistic. If we shined, someone became uncomfortable. Someone became uncomfortable. So we learned to become smaller. But shrinking never made us safer. It only makes us less visible to ourselves, to the person we are when we look in that mirror. We shrink back so much that sometimes we don't even want to look at ourselves in the mirror because we don't like what we see in our own eyes. And that is that shrinkage. But the greatest tragedy is not that others fail to recognize your brilliance. The greatest tragedy is when you stop recognizing it in yourself. So we know that we're talking about the goddess Sekhmet, and it's also very interesting that the Lion's Gate portal has already opened. And the Lion's Gate portal is that 8/8 portal, 8/8, August 8th portal. That is the high point or the apex of uh, of the Lion's Gate portal, but it's not the only day of it. And these are times that many people call the dog days of summer because it's so hot and intense. And I think we can all feel that in the weather. I know I'm here in New York. Many people are feeling this around the country, just this heightened, intense solar flares and all kinds of other things that are going on. And uh, so here we are talking about the goddess Sekhmet. And Sekhmet is the lion-headed goddess, and it's just why it's important when we have this Lionsgate portal opening that we acknowledge uh, the existence of Sekhmet, who is the lion-headed goddess in Egypt. And many people remember her fierce power as one of the eyes of Ra, a daughter of Ra, the sun god. Okay, But beneath all of that strength, that power, and in many, many ways, that destructive force, she has a true commitment to healing. And you may find it interesting that you would have a goddess both of war and of healing, but uh, it's almost as if you can think of her as the huntress stalking illness and disease to help clear it away. Okay. And her roar wasn't there to frighten others. Okay. Because silence would have betrayed her purpose. Her golden crown reminds us that our power is not something to hide. And she is the goddess. Not only does she have a lion head, but she wears the solar disc, the big red disc on top of her head. And there's no mistaking her for some kind of uh, shrinking violet of kind of a goddess. She is right there. She's in your face. And that golden crown reminds us that our power is not something to hide. It is something to steward wisely. Sekhmet teaches us that power without love becomes domination. Love without power becomes self-abandonment. And true radiance is the marriage of both. Love for ourselves, love for others, acknowledging our own power, and helping others find theirs. And that is the true message of Sekhmet. But being visible is not, we talk all the time about being visible. And one thing it's not talking about is becoming famous or well known or everybody knows who this person is. It's also about becoming available to your purpose, available to your calling, available to the people whose lives are waiting to be changed because you chose courage instead of hiding. And please be aware that the only place, the only way that you can actually feel courageous, and to me, I feel that is the most important attribute that we can encourage in ourselves, because courage means that courage comes from a French word, core, heart, to take heart, to take up that courage that is needed for any endeavor that you aspire to. Because many times we start what we want to do and we don't really have a clear vision, but activity is what gives us the clearer vision. We may start out, we don't really have all that much confidence of what we're doing, but as we do it, we gain confidence. The thing that pushes us out there so that we can find both clarity and confidence is the courage to just start. Start where you are. Start with whatever you have. Just do it and gain both clarity and confidence as you move forward. Because someone is waiting for the wisdom you've lived. Someone is waiting for the story you survived. Someone is waiting for your voice. When you hide your light, you also hide your medicine. And this is why I truly believe that each and every one of us needs to discover or uncover or reimagine what that medicine that we have is and how we can bring it out in the world, because the world needs it now more than ever. We all of us who are conscious, who are awakened, who are able to heal and radiate from where we are all being asked to prepare for what is to come. We are all being passed to get on board with whatever it is that we can offer the world right now, and discover what ways we're still hiding ourselves, what ways we're still making ourselves small, what ways it still feels safer to hide our light than to share it. Okay. And to ask ourselves, Whose approval are you still chasing? Because sometimes we're not, it's not on the top of our mind. It's somewhere deep in the shadows, someplace in our subconscious, that we are still waiting for someone to give us the go ahead. We're still waiting for someone else to say, you're ready. We're still waiting for somebody else to say, hey, get out there. Okay. And we're still waiting for someone to say, your gifts have value in the world. And that's true because you're here. We all know that because you are here, the things that you bring forward, the gifts that you bring forward, the medicine that you bring forward is needed, it is valuable, it is worthy, and it is enough. I think sometimes we look at what other people can like bring to the table. Well, I'll never be like so and so, you know. I'll never be like this person over here. Well, everybody doesn't need the person with the loudest voice and the biggest audience. Some people need that quiet, still voice that you possess, that maybe is not out there everywhere, but it is still needed by someone, and usually someone's. Okay. And you have to question yourself and ask, what would my life be like if I trusted that my light is needed? If you trusted the inherent value you bring to the people around you, what would it be like if you actually trusted that? What would you do? Okay. And for a moment, I want you to find a flame, a candle. This one is orange because this is very reminiscent of Sekhmet, both um, color wise and also in her healing aspect. So we don't need to see the price tag here. And I want you to look into that flame. And as you look into the flame, not with your full focus, but with partial focus, with your eyes just closed just a little bit, it will look as if the flame is sending out a light into your heart area. And as you inhale that light and that flame into your heart to strengthen you, to embolden you, to clear away any tension or any blockage that is preventing you from doing what you would like to do, from bringing your gifts forward with your full heart or with your full chest, as they like to say these days, right? And continue to breathe in this energy and give to the flame anything that no longer serves. If you're feeling self doubt, give it to the flame. If you're questioning your value, give those questions to the flame. You don't need them anymore. If you're feeling any, and I know we love to talk about the imposter syndrome, or I'm not good enough, or maybe I'll try it next week, give it to the flame and let the flame, like a crucible, burn it up until it is nothing, until it exists no more. And if you have in your mind a sentence that you tell yourself that reminds you why you're not ready or why you're not worthy or why what you have to offer makes no sense, hear that sentence in your mind and give that to the flame and let it burn away. And now imagine the flame is speaking to you. It says, I see you. I honor you. I celebrate you. I invite you to release every apology that you have for being powerful. I will take it and burn it away. I invite you to release anything that has been holding you back from feeling comfortable, being totally seen. Give it to me, and I will burn it away. And remember, the flame says, your light, like mine, serves the world. And so it is. So here's a little bit of womb wisdom from my womb to yours. And just wants to remind you that your womb has never apologized for creating life. Flowers do not apologize for blooming. The ocean does not apologize for its depth. The moon does not apologize for becoming full as it is tonight. Why then should you apologize for being yourself? And now, our affirmations were tonight. Once again, you can repeat them to yourself or repeat any of them that really feel uh, that they honor you. Here we go. My light is sacred. My presence has purpose. I release myself from the habit of shrinking. I am worthy of being seen. My gifts bless the world. I radiate love, wisdom, and truth. I trust my divine timing, and I stand fully in my sacred power. Okay. And now, as the month closes, I invite any one of you that is looking to go deeper into who they are, to find the clarity, the confidence, and yes, the courage to be who they are fully, without questions, without doubts, without asking permission. If that's you, if you're this woman that is ready to step more fully into her own personal and sacred power, feel free to DM me from this video and let's talk about how you can do that in your life. Okay. So here we go with our closing blessing. May you walk into this week remembering that you were never created to disappear. May your voice become stronger than your fear. May your gifts flow with ease. May your presence become a blessing everywhere you go. May you wear your invisible crown with grace, compassion, and confidence. And yes, during Awaken Her this week, we did give out a beautiful, beautiful crown and wear it confidently and with ease. And when the world tells you to become smaller, may you remember the sun. It has never once apologized for rising. Go forth this week, beautiful goddesses, radiate without apology. And until we gather again for another Wednesday Wisdom, remember to awaken, heal, embody, and radiate. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.